Hi there, I'm Jessica York in the Dish Studio. If there ever was an award for the most straightforward TV title, it might be Mary Kills People. Mary Kills People is the story of an ER doctor who moonlights as an angel of mercy, someone who helps the terminally ill die on their own terms. The darkly funny drama is starting its second season Monday nights on Lifetime. That's channel 108 on Dish. Season 1 of Mary Kills People has a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Now that's a perfect score. The series was created by Tara Armstrong, and I recently sat down with her to find out what she's plotting for Season 2.
Death gives life meaning. Life is precious because it ends.
Here, you can press it if you'd like.
Everything's changing.
This is your mom's extracurricular activity. She kills people.
I'm an end-of-life counselor.
Where to begin?
Mary, I'm gonna need you to kill my husband.
But that's not what I do.
There's no escape.
How old's your youngest? She's around 12.
We're in this together.
Mary, how much are you willing to lose?
She's gonna come after my kids.
I'm your best chance out of this.
You brought yourself to this.
It's the line we don't ever cross.
What other choice do we have? Kill or be killed.
There's no escape.
Mary Kills People.
Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. First of all, I have to say congratulations.
Thank you.
Because I feel like not everyone gets a Season 2, and hardly anyone gets 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes.
That's kind of phenomenal.
It is kind of phenomenal. Feel very lucky.
Did you just hire a bunch of people to put reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and that's how you got it, or?
Yeah, totally. No, I don't know. It just, the show somehow connected with people. I mean, my theory is that it's because it's about death and dying, and I think people want to talk about that more than we do. That's really like why I wrote it and why I personally wanted to, explore this topic, because I think we kind of live in a death-denying society, and, I know for myself, the more that I talk about it, the more sort of catharsis I have, and the more I sort of understand, about it. But yeah, I think that's why. And then we have an amazing cast, and I think that really, the critics, really responded to Caroline Davernas and the rest of our cast, and it's great.
What are you doing here?
You weren't answering your phone.
I was working. You can't be here. My kids could show up, and I don't know how to explain you.
Sorry, but this is kind of a pressing matter. Okay, there's no easy way to say this. It's a kind of a comedy of errors type situation. I really think that one day we will laugh about this.
Laugh about what? Stop stalling and tell me.
Someone thinks I'm a hitman.
I always wonder when a writer decides to take on a topic that they might just find interesting, or like, oh, this is a cool story. But then people all of a sudden think, oh, you must be an expert in euthanasia. Has that happened to you?
I don't think people think I'm an expert in it, but I mean, I really was so interested in this topic, and I actually wrote it when I was a student in doing a creative writing degree in university, and everything I wrote at university pretty much was about death, and it's kind of an obsession of mine. So one of my assignments there was I could just go into a place of my choosing and interview and do like an immersive article, and I chose to go into a hospice because I was just really interested in the people, that work with death and that, make death a part of their daily lives, and I find those people very fascinating. So I wouldn't call myself an expert on it, but I definitely have like a strong personal interest in the subject matter, and, really wrote it to sort of reconcile my own feelings about death, and I haven't figured it all out. We're two seasons in, and I still haven't figured it out, and I don't think I ever will, and I don't think it's something we as a society will necessarily ever figure out, but I think it's good to talk about it.
The great mystery.
Yeah.
And while that is a part of it, in watching the show, I feel like it's about life and relationships and tackling the tough questions and, you know, constantly checking your moral compass. I feel like those are the really relatable topics that are also there.
Definitely. I mean, I love shows where I'm watching it and I'm engaged to the point where I'm thinking, oh, what would I do in this situation? And I feel like that was something we really wanted to do with Mary, and we do that even more in season 2, where we put her in these very difficult dilemmas, like where she's sort of, you know, how far will she go to protect her family? How far will Des go to protect Mary? You know, all of these things. And I think that the audience really connects with that as well.
It seems like the stakes are much higher.
The stakes are much higher in season 2.
And it's the kind of death is changing.
Yeah, yeah. We have, you know, right from the very first episode, we have like a very complex.
Cried my eyes out. Oh my gosh.
Complex situation with a couple who actually one of them is terminally ill and one of them is not, but they want to die together, and so it becomes a real point of contention with Mary and Des. Mary sort of agreed to do this for them, and Des is not on board, which I think is just so great because we can have a conversation, you know, about when is it okay to help someone die, when is it not okay.
Excuse me. What's happening here?
Betty and Victor want to die together. We've discussed it, and I support their decision.
Mary, what are you talking about? Our service is for people who are dying.
We're all dying. It's just a matter of timing.
Trust me, son. I've tried to talk her out of it. We both have. She won't be swayed.
Well, then let me be the one to sway you, Betty, because this is mad.
Listen, I know that there's a very popular opinion out there that choosing life is superior to choosing death, but believe me when I tell you, I have no interest in any life without my husband.
Mary, I'm gonna need a word. This is not what we do.
Yes, it is. We help people who want to die.
No, we help the terminally ill shuffle across that rainbow bridge a bit faster. We don't murder perfectly healthy individuals who happen to be a bit sad.
Look, when they first asked me, I had the same reaction.
I would hope so.
But then she explained it to me. Her life would be meaningless without him.
She just needs a hobby. Knitting or birding or
And
something.
I've been through all of that with her, of course. You know that look that they have when they're ready? When death is their only option. She has that look. And we shouldn't be the ones to decide that Betty's suffering is any less real than Victor's.
But he's dying. She's not.
Suffering isn't always physical.
And this is like, again, so complex, and I don't think we're ever gonna figure it out, but Mary is a character who believes it should be available to everybody.
And through the course of that, you see you see the consequences to kind of Des's actions, where, you know, when people want what they want, it's kind of hard to stop them.
Exactly.
This show, I think, has an incredible balance that I imagine is kind of hard to strike, meaning I found myself laughing out loud and also crying my eyes out in one episode.
Yeah. Yeah, that was always something that was really important to me from back when I did all these interviews with people that, you know, are doctors at hospices or nurses at hospices. Like they told me that, you know, so much of the time there's so much laughter coming out of the rooms where these people are dying, because it's like how we deal with things like that. I know for myself, like humor is how I get through hard situations, and that doesn't mean it's, you know, funny all the time. It's also very tragic, some of these circumstances, but it was just really important, I think, to present it, you know, present this show like life, where there are moments of levity, and then there are these dark, you know, really sad moments.
Absolutely.
Just for the record, if you were dying, I would not want to die with you. I mean, I love you, but I love life more. What?
You. Trying to lighten the mood right now.
There was a time when you appreciated my humor.
There is a line.
Oh, yeah, I agree. There's a line. There's killing people who are terminal and killing people who are healthy. on this side.
Noted.
This show, I feel like if it was written 10, 15 years ago, would have been called Steve Kills People.
Exactly.
And so I think it's awesome that that you've put it in the perspective of a woman. I know that you are on a panel today called The Wonder Women. I don't know the panel's official name, The Wonder Women in our industry. I also think it's very appropriately timed for what's happening in the industry. Is that coincidence, or seeing as though you wrote this in college,
years ago,
it just seems like it's the natural progression.
Yeah, I know for me, I pretty much only want to write shows where there is a female lead. That to me is just the most interesting. So, you know, I didn't set out to talk about women or feminism or any of that. It just was like very natural to me to have this character be a woman, be a mother, and also have this very strong agency in what she's doing, and a strong belief that what she's doing is right. And then this season we also have a bad guy who's a bad girl, played by Rochelle Lefevre, and you know that's been so fun in season 2 as well, because just to see these two powerful women who are both like, you know, just sort of killing it at what they do, go head to head with one another, but it all just it all just came out really naturally, I think, because we have it's a female-led show, and we're interested in telling those stories.
Well, and I think that it just speaks to that females can lead and we can be in charge. And I think it's awesome. That's my own personal side note. But just as women being portrayed on TV has changed, so has the network that this is on. It's not women in peril anymore, it's women in power on Lifetime. Was that a specific choice to bring it to Lifetime?
Lifetime was just, from the very beginning, they heard about the show in its very early stages, and they wanted it, and we wanted to be on Lifetime, and it just really worked out. And I think, what also I think is changing is that, typically Lifetime has a female audience as well, and I think that is probably still true to a large extent, but the shows that are on there are, just as engaging for men as they are for women, I think,
And in this show, Mary, super strong character. And there was a quote in episode 1 of season 2 where Des says, you push boundaries, but sometimes you push them too far, or sometimes boundaries don't need to be pushed. I feel like this show does have an edge. What are the boundaries for the show, or do we even know those yet?
I mean, I think in season 2, we definitely talk a lot about boundaries and crossing over lines and morality, and once you cross one moral line, can you ever come back from that? And that's definitely a theme that we played heavily with this season, and Mary and Des are faced with that dilemma, and you'll have to tune in to see what happens.
I love it. So Mary Kills People, season 2 on Lifetime, and if you had to wrap up the essence of season 2, what would that be?
I think the essence of season 2 Mary Kills People is that Mary kills more people.
Love it.
Okay.
So good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mary has a little plan to end your pain and sorrow. And everywhere that Mary goes, there will be no tomorrow.
The critic for Salon.com says Mary Kills People is its own special trip, and one definitely worth taking. You can see season 2 Monday nights on Lifetime. That's channel 108 on Dish. And if you've missed any of your favorite Lifetime series, we can help you out. If you're at home and your HD DVR is connected to the internet, you can see Lifetime on demand. And if you're on the go, you can see the best of Lifetime on your mobile device with Dish Anywhere. My thanks to Tara and everyone at Lifetime. Don't miss the darkly funny drama Mary Kills People Monday nights on 108. In the Dish studio, I'm Jessica York.
This month on Dish Cinema.
Watch your step in here.
So gnarly.
He's a friend from work.
Fulfill your destiny.
How many of you are there? Not enough.